So, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Spotlight by CG Ruthless. Let's welcome my special guest, San Jose State offensive lineman, Marist Talavou, bro. How's it going, bro?
What's up, man? Thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah, for sure, bro. It's an honor, man. So, for those people who are not familiar with you, man, tell me about yourself.
My name is Marist Talavou. I was born in Long Beach, California, raised in Norwalk. My journey started at St. John Bosco High School. And from there, I was fortunate enough to play in the collegiate level. Went to the University of Utah. I graduated in 3 years, got I double majored. I got my criminology and sociology degree. And then from there, I transferred out and went to San Jose State. Sorry about that.
It's all good.
In
But
my three
in all
years.
seriously, dude, so when you first started going to college, you went to Utah, which was one of the top schools in the country, huh?
Mhm. Yeah, it was the process, the recruiting process then was it was a lot, but I fell in love with Utah as one of my offers coming out of high school.
So there was like other offers besides Utah when you first came out of high school, right?
Yes, so I had at the time when I was making my decision, I had actually committed early to Utah going into my senior year, but I had ASU, Oregon, Oklahoma, and Boston College.
Ooh, okay. You had some pretty intriguing ones, man. It would have been nice to see you on the Oklahoma Sooners, man. It would have been nice, or you playing that. But I think you wanted to be more closer and all that stuff. And maybe you felt the family vibe with Utah because they have a lot of a good type of atmosphere.
Yeah, 100%. Especially when I took my visit over there. It just felt like family and felt like home, and I just felt like that was the right place for me.
So when did you started playing football?
So I actually didn't start playing football until high school. So I didn't really play Pop Warner or anything like that. And one of the biggest reasons why was because back then they didn't have an unlimited class like there is now with Pop Warner with weight classes. You usually play depending on your weight. So I think when my parents first put me in Pop Warner, and it was my first time playing tackle. I think I was in second grade, and I was playing with like fourth graders because that's how heavy I was. And I got my rude awakening right there. And then I was just like, felt like my parents felt like, okay, he's kind of getting mauled out there. We should probably wait till high school.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you were a late bloomer, which is better than nothing. I mean, but at least you got your opportunity to go to a nice college and all that. So was there like other positions you played before guard?
Yeah. So when I got to Bosco my freshman year, um, I actually didn't have a choice to play offensive line. I was actually going in hopes to play. It's kind of funny. I was in hoping to play linebacker. Um, but my coach decided to pull me and several other guys. He pulled us to a room. And he's like, "Okay, you guys are my offensive line," and I had no idea what an offensive line was. So the first position before I ended up at guard was actually learning how to play tackle.
So it had to be more of a transition because you said you were playing linebacker and you weren't accustomed to playing offensive line. So it had to be a very challenging adjustment for you, huh?
Oh yeah, I mean it's funny because in my family I've come from a lot of course we play football, but a lot of my family members, especially my uncles and them, they played more on the defensive side, defensive linemen, linebackers. And so going to play offensive line for the first time, actually hearing about it was actually it was interesting more than less, but then I ended up falling in love with it.
Yeah. It starts to become more as soon as you do practice and all that natural stuff and all that stuff. So it
Mhm.
becomes a natural to you. But so you've been playing like football even throughout the COVID year, right?
Yes.
So was it a challenging year? Was it very challenging when you went to Utah?
Yeah, so when COVID happened, I mean, of course, like nobody really knew, especially when it first started, no one really knew how long this was going to go. And then it happened in the timeline. And then when we came back, just trying to get a practice going or even just a workout was actually it was a long process. So that COVID year was definitely something, an experience.
Yeah, it had to be more of a challenging because a lot of the stuff was very limited on certain stuff, so it had to be a little difficult, and the games were probably very little.
Yeah, like I think when we finally got the all clear to play, I think our first game was against USC at home, and it was actually kind of crazy to be in the stadium where there's like no fans. It's just like you and your teammates in the stands, and then just USC and your team playing, and that was it. It almost
Hmm.
felt like a scrimmage almost more than a game.
Well, it had to be a lot challenging for those type of games, but then eventually you took the transfer and went to San Jose State, which I found it pretty intriguing. What made you kind of just take the transfer from going from Utah to San Jose State?
Yeah, so I mean, of course, COVID had a big factor in it. I was fortunate enough to, be done in 3 years, and I feel like it was time for a change of scenery. I prayed about it, talked to my mom about it, and decided to go into the transfer portal as a grad transfer. And next thing you know, San Jose came knocking on my door, and I decided to explore that avenue, and here I am.
So, what would be the difference between playing at Utah and playing at San Jose State? What was the atmosphere vibe difference?
I'd say the only difference was just coming from a program like Utah and having just the sources that were available to us. I would say that was probably the biggest one because, of course, for me, family is such a big atmosphere for me, especially in my culture. So that was really the only difference between the both of them, from how I saw it.
Oh yeah, atmosphere is a little different. I'm pretty sure Utah could be a little chill and quiet over there, right? Because it's like mostly like kind of like a mountain area.
Yeah, it's very, it's very, like you said, very laid back. It's a complete polar opposite from LA.
But San Jose, there's a lot to do over there for sure.
Yeah,
There's a
there.
lot to do because San Jose, which I grew up around there. It's just I guess I still got family to this day, and I even got a cousin who went down to that school. So it's like
Hmm.
it's just almost a million people down there. So you got a lot to do over there.
Yeah, and that's what I love about it too because I actually didn't know about San Jose, and I think that's why I loved it even more because it gave me more things to do out there to explore and discover and learn more about the city.
You grew up in Southern California, so you probably weren't too accustomed as much to the Northern California area.
Yeah, because before San Jose, I've only been up there once, and that was just for back in 2016 when we played for state champions against De La Salle. But that was the only time. Other than that, I never went back to NorCal until I transferred over there.
Oh, okay. So, just from your experience, who do you model yourself after just from playing that position, the offensive line?
Yeah, so I actually kind of look at a few guys, and like to take a I like to take a few things from everybody and try to make it my own thing. I definitely like to model my game after Trent Williams, Quentin Nelson, Larry Allen was a big one, and Jonathan Ogden were the few people that I like to take my game from a lot.
I like those choices. Mike Upati is a hell of a good example, a very
Mhm.
good football player. I mean, you even said Larry Allen, rest his soul. This guy was just a dominant
Yeah.
guard, bro. Nobody could mess with this guy. So
Mhm.
then you even said Jonathan Ogden. That dude was a big offensive
Yeah.
lineman. I think he was about 6'9" tackle, dude. Oh
Mhm.
my god, dude! Like they don't make that many kind of offensive linemen as often like
No.
that can be as great as him.
Yeah.
But looking at how you played at San Jose State, man, you're listed at 6'3", 300, almost 340. So you're like a guard, but watching your film, dude, you're like a mauler, dude. Like you kind of like do some good run blocks, huh? You take pride in a lot of that run blocking, don't you?
Oh, 100%. And and the thing is that I've always taken to heart for myself is you kind of read off of it already. People usually see my weight and everything, and I kind of use that as my advantage because usually when you see a heavy guy, you don't think much like, oh, he's not gonna move,
I
and then
know
next thing
it's
you know, you just see me pulling, going downfield, just taking on other guys.
yeah, it could be a very much challenging for some offensive linemen, but that's what makes it so good about the trenches. But even for your size, you can move for a big guy.
Hmm.
So like just from playing at San Jose State, man, you at least blocked pretty well for a running back and all those other players, bro. You guys had a pretty solid. You guys had an okay season, but you guys had a good foundation for that team. So,
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
oh yeah. Um. So like going into this year's draft, how many teams have you met with?
I've met with a few teams.
Few teams.
Yeah.
Okay, so at least you got some significant interest. So when is your pro day start? Because I know there's going to be a lot of teams checking out players from San Jose State and all the other stuff.
Yeah. Our pro day is actually coming up. It's March 19th, so in 3 weeks from now, 2 weeks.
Oh, okay, that sounds good. So we'll go on to these comment sent questions. Just from team culture perspective. I mean, we all know it can be relatable. Let's say you guys had a chance to win a ball game, and you have a Devondre Campbell on your football team who just happens to be all by himself. He's upset because of the role, and he walks and quits on you guys. He could have just at least gave you guys the heads up and just left the locker room, but he didn't. He just came into the field and just didn't bother. So how would you react under the circumstances that a quitter on the team just left you guys hanging?
So you're saying how would I go about it if he were to quit, or just how would I handle the situation almost?
Okay. So under the circumstances, let's say your quarterback and your wide receiver are just having a little altercation, man. Like the communication just isn't there. You know how sometimes they miss on their assignment, and sometimes the receiver would say, "Hey, man, I was just right there."
Yeah.
But how would you deal with that situation as a leader?
Yeah, and I mean the biggest thing that coaches talk about, and I take it a lot too, is just play the next play. I mean things aren't gonna go the way we want it to be or how you may think of it, but the only thing that matters is playing the next play. And whether from a receiver standpoint and everything, whether you get the ball a lot or whether you don't, either way, everybody has a role in it. Even if you don't play, you have a big factor into the team role because at the end of the day, it's a team sport. Either everybody's in it or everyone's not in it.
Oh, I like that answer so far. I mean, like you said, everybody just has to do what they got to do. But like you said, everybody wants the ball, of course, but you got to know your role at times. I didn't even ask this question actually. So let's see. Since I kind of see the Ravens in the back of your wall, I would guess you want to be a Baltimore Raven, of course.
Yeah, I mean, growing up as a Ravens fan, I mean, I would love to play for the Ravens, but at the end of the day, I'm grateful for whatever opportunity comes. I love to play for anybody that allows me to showcase what I can do.
Oh, for sure, man. But it just seems pretty obvious because I could just see it right in the back.
Yeah.
But but yeah, I'm pretty sure any 32 teams would be more than happy to take a chance on you. I mean, especially you're not too far off from Levi Stadium, so I'm pretty sure are you kind of scheduled for a local pro day with them or no?
I haven't gone that far yet. I would love to, but hopefully in the future.
We'll
Or down
see. Or since you're from Norwalk, you might just do the Rams pro day. Who knows?
Yeah.
Because I mean, like you said, you grew up from Northern California. I mean, like Southern California, which is like in LA or something. Wait, you said you live like in between Long Beach, which is like in LA County, Orange County, or what?
Yeah, Orange County.
Oh yeah, see, I got it all mixed up because I know LA County and Orange County are a little different,
Yeah.
so you get a little, and then you got Ventura County and all the other stuff. It gets kind of confusing for some of them,
Yeah.
but yeah. David, he already put the pro day. He already said that the day he'll do that. Let's do some other ones. Like, let's say your team's behind like a couple touchdowns, which I'm pretty sure you're familiar with that. Like for example, like how you guys played Fresno State. There was times you guys came back and won that game. So let's say you guys are down by a couple touchdowns going to halftime. What would be the best way to get this team to rally from behind and win this ball game?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we've actually had a few instances of that. Thing I would say is, let the first half be the first half. Like what's done is done. What's happened is happened. All we have left is these next 2 quarters, and all we can do is play the play. Is play the next play. Whatever play gets called, we gotta play our part and do the best we can. And if it's good or bad, the best play you have is the next play. And we just take it one play at a time, and everything will take care of itself.
Oh yeah, I like the attitude, man. Just let it play itself. So we'll go with rapid fire. We'll go a little bit of something. Let's see. Like, I don't know if you're too into the fast food because I think people go on their dieting, but let's say McDonald's or Burger King. What would you take?
Oh, McDonald's.
Man, it seems like the only one who said Burger King was only one individual, but the rest of everybody keeps saying McDonald's. There's got to be like a reason why you like McDonald's. I mean, the nuggets or the quarter pounder or what? Or the
Yeah, it's
breakfast?
the nuggets, man. It's the nuggets and the fries. Their fries is, you go anywhere, any other fast food, like you can't beat McDonald's fries.
Oh yeah. So I don't know if you kind of been around certain areas of the South, but let's say In-N-Out, of course. Then you got Whataburger. I don't know if you've ever tried Whataburger.
Oh yeah,
But
I
it
don't
kind
know,
of seems biased. You'll probably go In-N-Out, right?
Oh, 100%.
It's pretty obvious. But let's see. So how do you prepare for like ritual games? Like like before you prepare for games, what gets you ready for those games?
Yeah, so actually my pregame ritual starts actually the day before, if you've ever heard of that before. So
Okay. So
yes.
you kind of pregame all that stuff, but don't you do like study films and all that stuff for your opponents?
Oh, 100%. Like watch film and everything, but my pregame usually starts like once I finish my film study. My ritual usually starts. So say we play Saturday, my ritual usually starts like Thursday because I like
Okay.
to go through certain things because we have walkthroughs and everything like that. Because usually what I do is I like to look at my notes that Thursday night, look through everything, go through everything, and then Friday next day I usually you know usually I it's kind of weird, but I usually go to Jack in the Box and I always get junior bacon.
Ooh, Jack in the Box, man. I love me some Jack in the Box, but I think like my go-to meal would probably be the bacon ultimate cheeseburger. I don't know why.
Oh, hey, that became my that became my favorite this past.
Okay. I think we got something in common, man. We're them big lineman boys. So I mean, just from if you had to choose a highlight reel for yourself, let's say you have a chance to be an eligible receiver downfield. Would you rather get a touchdown or would you rather get multiple blocks and escort your running back for a touchdown, man? Like you get like multiple pancakes on all the defenders,
Mhm.
and the running back it makes it easy for the running back to score the touchdown. So which one would you choose if you had to choose one?
Oh, I take the multiple pancake blocks any day. It's just, how do I say this? Just playing offensive line, there's just something about watching another man just dominate him. And especially
Yeah,
when you get to watch your boy just take off untouched, nobody's around. Closer guy's probably like 20 yards away from him. It's just
yeah.
something about that if you only play in the trench, you'd understand,
Yeah, especially if you took out if you took out multiple defenders out, it's
Yeah.
like that's an impressive stat which doesn't get mentioned on the stat sheet. But it's like, sure, don't get me wrong, the touchdown would be nice, but you guys are known for blocking and doing a good job. So why do you feel that offensive linemen don't get enough recognition? They should have an award for offensive linemen in pro football or any other. I mean, they got it in college football for some awards, but
Mhm.
in the NFL, they need to get one of those awards.
Oh yeah, I 100% agree. But I feel like the reason why we don't get a award like that is just like everyone says, we're like an AC unit. When it works, everyone's always going to talk about the quarterback, the running back, the receiver. But the moment something happens or it's not going well, they're like, "Oh man, look at this offensive line, it's not working." So I mean, we always do the dirty work, but when you play offensive line, that's pretty much what you sign up for. We get very little glory, and all we do is go to work each and every day. And I feel like that's the beauty in it, and that's why I love the game so much. Is because that's why I love the position so much. Is because I don't ask for much, but I do take pride in my work, and I do find joy in seeing my teammates having fun, seeing my quarterback throw a freaking bomb down the field, seeing my running back break off 2 tackles to go score, seeing a receiver just break someone's ankles because we gave the quarterback time. Just little things like that is why I take pride in what I do.
Yeah, it's like you do your work and that's all that matters. But like, so just getting ready for the NFL. So what do they have you do mostly like guard and center, or they have you do other spots, or they just have you at guard mostly?
Uh, I've been doing all 3 spots, both guards and centers. For me, versatile, play anywhere, wherever they need me to be, and just stick me there and play. I feel like all my life I've just been a plug and
Oh,
play guy.
so they've been having you try out at center too.
Yes.
Oh wow, I like that idea, man. But number 61, that'd be kind of cool. Just you know what, you might need to reach out to Jesse Sapola and see if he can let you borrow his number just to go over there in San Francisco, man. Just because you have the number 61 in San Jose State, man. Like, so
Oh, sure.
yeah. Let's say which I believe you will. Let's say you get into the NFL, you go to San Francisco. Let's say you have a chance to interact with Jesse Sapola, man. What would the advice you want to get from this legend?
My advice would be is, how do I continue to be in your footsteps and be great just like him, and at the same time, pave my own way too.
Yeah, I like that, man. But you want to pick brains from one of them dudes. I mean, he's one of them OGs that paved the way for a lot of the Bollywood guys, man. I mean, he put all the hard work and all that stuff. So it's like,
Oh yeah.
yeah. A lot of you guys had great, like, there's even a lot of them that have been successful. Like, you look at the wrestlers, a lot of the Polynesians are wrestlers.
Yeah.
You look at the different kind of athlete, even the rugbies too, which is
Mhm.
insane. Like, you guys got that physical mindset. What makes you guys stand up from the rest of the world, bro? You guys are like animals out there.
I'd say it's just a pride thing, like wherever, whatever sport we're doing, wherever we're in, we just take pride in our work, in our practices, in our craft. And, we just, anything we do, we just love it. We always want to do it 100%. We never like to cut corners or, I feel like that's what makes us different. That's why we are the way we are. It's because we love it and we have pride. And especially from a team sport too, it's like when we play on a team, it's like automatically like, you're my brother, I'm going to go to war for you.
Yeah, that's just how, like, from when you experience different culture, you just see how the Polynesians are just more of a family oriented kind of people. Like, they're the ones that look out for you, even if you're not related or not. They always will back you up, or at least try to stand by you unexpectedly, which I've had it happen before. A certain captain who was Polynesian just came out of the blue and just took my defense, which I didn't expect it, but at least he considered me kind of like family. So it was like, you kind of feel the respect and the vibe and the culture, man. It's something that I'm kind of intrigued by the most, because you guys really have some of those traditions and all that stuff that I kind of find very interesting about.
Yeah, I mean, just like our culture, our families, our grandparents, they raise us to respect everyone, love everybody. Because I mean, I feel like in this world, all we need is a little bit more love. And it's like,
Yeah,
why be the bad guy? It doesn't hurt to be the nice
yeah,
guy. It doesn't hurt to, just be nice to everybody.
yeah. I agree with it. So going in, so going into your pro day, what do you want to accomplish? Like, what is the playing weight that you want to establish, and what is your goal for the pro day that you want to accomplish also?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing for my pro day is to show scouts and show teams that I can play wherever you need me to play. At the same time, too, of course, I'm going to drop the weight, but at the same time, too, I don't want them to just look me for my weight. I want them to know that even with the weight that I have, I can still move it around, and my tape shows that for itself too.
I,
Whether
I,
it's, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I've seen the tape on your highlight tape, and I see that you kind of like knock people down, or you move pretty well. When you pull, you're just quick off those type of blocks, which I do
Mhm.
like in offensive linemen. And once you put your hands on them, dude, they go down or something. It's like you have that kind of power.
Oh yeah, I mean, definitely when I play the game, I like to send a message and let people know.
Oh yeah. So all those years in college, what are you trying to look forward to, like improving the most? Like, everybody has a weakness going into college and something you want to improve on the most.
Yeah, I'd say the biggest thing I want to continue to improve on is just my run game. I definitely feel like I can be better with my hand placement, my pad level, and I feel like that's the thing that I continue to work on and look forward to, continue to work on down the road.
Okay. I mean, like you said, the run block would probably be a lot to work on than your hand type of stuff. But I see that you are definitely coachable, so you'll be coachable at the next level. So there's a lot to like about you. Like you said, you might need to drop a little weight, because I think most offensive linemen have to be a little leaner but a little quicker. And
Hmm.
I see that you can move for a big guy. So
Yeah, again, my weight's always going to be a thing, and at the same time, of course, I'm going to continue to work on it. But at the same time, I always show that I don't let my weight stop me from getting the job done. And
oh
at
yeah.
the same time, too, teams don't like going up against a big guy, and teams kind of saw that
Yeah, I
already.
agree with you, man.
So,
Like, you play a lot faster than what your weight is. So I mean, but I think they always want it to be like a flexible. But what kind of dieting do you usually have for, like, for most athletes, they have to be in the best shape and make sure they balance on the food they eat so they can be on good shape for football.
yeah. So basically, for me, for diet, so no more Jack in the Box, no more McDonald's. Been cutting that out, cutting the sweets, no sodas, just pure water, protein, greens. Having a colorful plate, and that's really what I've been sticking to for my diet. Has just been cutting it down.
Okay, that's a good way to do it. Well, if it ever comes down to the future, and if you end up at Levi Stadium, maybe we'll have to catch up at Jack in the Box one of these days.
Hey, you just let me know, man. I'll get us some
Man,
bacon
we got
ultimate
some in
cheeseburgers.
common, man. We love them cheeseburger, man. It's all good. But okay, so what's like your go-to music for these type of warm-up games and stuff? Because I know for some players they always have that kind of music that pumps them up.
Yeah. I actually like to switch off. So, say like we just pull up to the stadium and I'm getting dressed, getting the pads on and everything. I like to listen to Steel Post. I like to listen to reggae a lot. It kind of calms my soul, kind of calms my mind and everything. And then the moment, when we come back from the locker room and we're getting ready for kickoff and everything, I like to switch it up and amp it up a little bit more. So I'll listen to like Ice Cube, NWA, um, Biggie, Kanye West. That's just what I really like to listen to. I'm real selective with my music, especially the timing of things, because I don't want to
Yeah.
be too high before the game, and I also don't want to be too low coming out of the game or going into the.
I like the selection of those, man. Like Ice Cube's a good one, like really a
Mm-hmm.
good one. Like man, I don't know. Like Ice Cube just seems ageless, man. He's like I guess you could say he's like the Ric Flair of rap music, man.
Yeah.
He just seems ageless at everything. So it's like, but like Kanye West is okay. I've liked him for years too. I mean, there's a lot of good ones, but so outside of football, who are you as a person?
Outside of football, I'm very family like. I like to hang out with my family. I like to hang out with friends. Sometimes I like to just play video games. Other times I like to just go out for a walk. Not so uptight about football all the time. Sometimes I like to watch cooking videos so I can start bookmarking things. So I start to figure out what I want to try out and cook.
Okay, I mean, you seem like a down to earth kind of guy, so you're just excited for that process, man. So when did you feel when you got into college that when you were playing that hey, you know what? I can make it to the NFL one day.
And it's actually a really good question. I would say, when I got to Utah, I kind of felt that way. But then when I got to San Jose State, and I started playing and everything, and I got to feel the high of college football and everything like that. I think that's when that belief in the sense of, you know, maybe the next level of playing NFL is something I want to do. It's the dream I've always wanted to chase as a little kid.
Oh yeah. So once the game got slower, man, you probably started feeling that that's what got the confidence feeling that you could make it. Once the game got slower, right?
Oh, 100%. And I mean, I'll never forget my first game. My coach told me, like, hey, you're going to start this game. And I was mixed emotion. I was like, oh, shoot, I'm going to start my first collegiate game. And then the other half was like, oh, shoot, I'm going to start my first collegiate game because I was so nervous. And, I was lucky enough to save my first start. I think we ended up we ended up winning, but I think it was a blow, like 40 points.
It can be a little nervous at times, but once you just show it up in the spotlight, man. But what kind of what was your best overall game that you can you can just look at your tape and say, you know what, this was my most complete game I've ever played?
Ooh, that's actually a hard one. I would say it's between 23 Fresno State when we played them at home, and when we played Washington State at Washington State this past season. Even though we lost, I mean, I felt like that was still one of my great games, and it was a fun atmosphere to play at.
Oh yeah, that game kind of went like that game was pretty much going in like into like a close game because from a side, man, usually Fresno State usually gives you guys the most problems, throughout that time. But I think at times you guys tend to be a little competitive. But it's like playing against Fresno State kind of got you the good tape right there. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, you win some, you lose some. And, they got after us, and at the end of the day, we just do what we can, play the best we could.
So was there like ever a trash talk rivalry with Fresno State? Was there ever like a friendly type of thing, or was it like whatever?
Oh, it's all how rivalry games go. I mean, you don't like the guy, he doesn't like you. There's always gonna be trash talking before, after, and even during the game. But
Yeah,
at the same time, I mean, at the end of the game, like just those rivalry games are always, they
yeah.
just hit a little bit more.
It's just a friendly rivalry, but for some players, like, are you the kind of guy that does the trash talking, or you let your play do the talking?
I like to let my play do the talking. I'm not really. I don't like to talk when I play. I like to let the pads talk.
Oh, okay, so who was the toughest defensive player you faced like so far that you could say, you know what, this guy's gonna be pretty good?
I mean, of course, Soane Toye is one of the hardest guys I've gone up against day in and day out. But I'd say another guy besides him was his name was Gus from Washington State. I think he transferred to Kentucky, but he was probably one of the hardest dudes and toughest dudes I ever gone up against. And it was fun going up against him. We talked afterwards, but I wouldn't be surprised if next year in the next year's draft that they'll be talking about him.
Okay. That's a good one to put right there. But what do you so every game, we all look at ways to improve. So every other game, what type of errors do you look at your film and you kind of feel like you can do better next time on? Because sometimes we have our off days, and sometimes when you look at the film, you kind of have a better idea what you could do next time.
Yeah. So, the thing with me, I'm very hard on myself, especially when I watch film. And I always like to look at the little things, especially in the sense of I like to look at to see where my hands are in the pass pro, where my hands are in the run. How's my pad level? Did I take an extra kick? Like, where's my footing on this? At the same time, too, I also like to look at why we ID things certain way and just like always trying to look for the better answer, but also trying to figure out where the mistakes are. Just any little thing I can find, I always try to look for that.
Oh yeah. Sure, man. There's a lot of ways you can improve, like you said, the pad and all the other stuff. And, sometimes the angle can be a little off on the blocking, and then sometimes
Yeah.
your footwork can be a little something. That's just how offensive linemen have to work on the most. But, that's how you look at the film and you kind of figure out what you did wrong and what you can do better at. So you take it more of a learning experience, if anything else.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So, it's going to be a pretty long process, man. You're going to have, you're living out a dream, man. A lot of people would love to be on your shoes. I mean, coming from where you come from, Norwalk, California, it's just you grew up a Ravens fan, so there's a chance that maybe you can play for Baltimore, or maybe you don't have to go too far from San Jose. Just go right down the street from Levi's. It's one or the other, bro. It doesn't matter where you go as long as you get the opportunity, right?
Oh, always wanted to showcase what I
So,
can.
okay, so one last question. Why should NFL teams draft you?
I feel why NFL teams should draft me is because they're getting a guy that's very a hard critique with myself about myself. I'm a locker room guy. You can put me in any locker room. I always get along. At the same time, I'm like a sponge. I'm always willing to learn and always looking to learn. At the same time, too, from a player, they're getting a physical guy. I'm someone that can go in there and get the job done, and always looking to, always try to perfect my game. Never satisfied, which is good because always something to go on.
I like the attitude, bro. That's something I kind of appreciate the most on offensive lineman. Like you said, there's a lot you can work on. You'll be a little hard on yourself just so you can get better and all that stuff. So whatever happens from here, man, I'm definitely going to root for you to succeed. Whether it's with the team right over there that you got behind you, or maybe it just be right down here.
Hey, I wouldn't mind staying. I wouldn't mind staying with the Niners and staying in NorCal a little bit longer.
Yeah, or
Love you, man.
or maybe go back to SoCal and play for the Chargers or Rams. Who knows?
Exactly. Who knows? I'm
Whatever
just
the opportunity presents, man. But I'll tell you what, man. Just enjoy the moment, and it's going to be worth the process, man. So whatever happens, definitely appreciate your time, bro. I know you got a lot to do, so you probably got a lot of training and all that other stuff. So for those people who are not familiar with your social media platform, man, tell them where they can find you.
yeah. So on Twitter, you can find me at Marist Talavou 68. You can hit me up on Instagram, Marist 61.
Oh yeah, and for those people, go check out Marist Talavou, man. Watch out for this guy from San Jose State, man. This guy's going to pancake you, man. Don't mess with this man. This man can be a Samoan bulldozer. This man can be like the next Umaga on the NFL level, man. This guy will put a spike on you, man. Don't mess with him. Yeah, I like to hype you guys up a little, man, just to make it sound cool. But yeah, bro, I'm definitely rooting for you, man. Whatever happens from here, man, we'll definitely keep in touch and keep me posted on what goes on here, man. So for everybody else, thank you guys for tuning in. And Marist Talavou and us are out.
Thank you.